because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers' guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. First interview of the day is with obviously the big man himself, Johnny Fisher. Only right.
Yeah, only right, mate. How are you? Good?
I'm very well, thank you. At the start of this interview, you said you were going to show off your sponsors.
Sports Direct, Everlast. All the other boys on here, Bet Goodwin, Prosperity, Reynolds Motor Group, VIP Security Services, Fair Play Exchange, My Life. Great sponsors. These are all on my fight kit as well. Great to have them on board and all my sponsors as well. Really appreciate it.
Obviously, big up Everlast Sports Direct,
yeah.
Matching sponsors for us.
Big up them too, Everlast and Sports Direct. But
Johnny, we were just talking about off camera, a little bit of a different assignment for you this Saturday at Wembley Arena. Salas is a Southpaw. I know you've faced a Southpaw before, Matt Gordon, but do you see this as a step up with Salas, Johnny?
Yeah, I've seen him shape up, and you can tell, me and Mark Tibbs watched him, you can tell someone's been around the gyms and he's got confidence and has probably sparred a few of the good guys. He's based in America, so he's going to be around some great fighters over there. So it's going to be a good test, a tough test, but I've prepared well, and whatever happens, happens. As long as you get the win, that's all that matters.
Do you think he might take you some rounds on Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. I thought Musil would take me some rounds. That was the quickest one, but you never know. You never know until you get in there. It's heavyweight boxing. Hopefully you can get a knockout, but just got to take my time and be patient.
How do you think, momentum-wise, your career's going and everything's building right at the moment?
Yeah, it's building right. Moving into 8-rounders now. Obviously my second 8-rounder, then we're into title fights with 10-rounders and stuff. But I don't like looking too far ahead. I've always been the same. Got to win this one, and then we can assess from there with my managers and my promoters.
See, a lot of fighters say it's not the easiest thing to deal with a Southpaw style, etc. Obviously, you've been sparring Southpaws, I'm guessing, throughout the whole camp, which would make sense for this. So, yeah, how has that been adjusting to that style, Johnny? Yeah,
it's different. Obviously, I throw my right hand a lot, so it could play into my favour. But you've got to fight correctly, and you can't just telegraph it, because the guy, a Southpaw, if you're fighting a Southpaw, they're going to be looking for the right hand, you're going to be looking for the right hand. So you've got to be clever with how you disguise it and stuff. But I've had good sparring in this camp. Tommy Fletcher, Gideon, who just won the ABAs and the Tri-Nations. Waddy Camacho's got an experienced head on his shoulders. Before that, it was a bit of orthodox sparring with Billum Smith and Siobhan Clark as well. So I've had some good work, some well-rounded work. So I'm in a good place.
I believe if you get a stoppage this Saturday night, that sends a big statement out.
If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not bothered about sending statements out. I'm bothered about my own career and doing what I want to do. So yeah, I'm excited because it's going to be a tough test and got a good crowd in there again. I'm looking forward to it.
Johnny, can I quickly get your thoughts on the madness between Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley, and obviously Fraser withdrawing from the purse bids?
Yeah, Fraser and Fabio, I know them both really well. Fabio I probably know a little bit better. I've sparred him loads. I think it's to do with promoters and vested interest there as well. I look at Fraser and I don't think he's scared of fighting anyone. I'm not going to think that for 1 second. It's just his team are probably managing him correctly, saying, look, he's only 5 or 6 fights in. Have another 8-rounder, have another 10-rounder before you jump into a British title fight, which is probably sensible. But it's frustrating for us as boxing fans because there's a big talk about it. We all thought it was going to happen and it doesn't. Must be frustrating for Fabio as well. But that is a fight. I think it will happen, but it might just happen later on in the year now.
Also, obviously someone who's struggled with a Southpaw style, a good mate of yours, your manager, Zhang-Joyce. You spoke to him recently, I'm guessing you have, about his rematch with Zhang, which is happening in September.
Yeah, we speak a lot, but we don't really speak about boxing, to be fair. We just send each other memes on Instagram and stuff like that and just talk about normal stuff. But yeah, Joe's a pretty chilled out guy anyway, so he knows what he's got to do. Him and Ismail Salas will look at what went wrong. Just getting caught too many times. We've said it before about Joe, but the tactics were just probably a little bit wrong, but there's things you can fix there. And you can see by round 6, round 7, when the fight was getting stopped, obviously because of his eye, he was starting to wear Zhang down a little bit. But the Joe-Joyce who beat Joe Parker, when I was in camp with him for Joe Parker, so switched on, unbelievably switched on, so focused. If you get that Joe-Joyce back, he'll beat Zhang. That's what I believe.
People are writing him off in this rematch.
That's what happens. Joe-Joyce is used to being wrote off. He's been wrote off for his whole career. But It's heavyweight boxing. Zhang's a great fighter. Not taking anything away from Zhang either, because he had a really good performance. He looked massive. He looked strong in that ring as well. So it should be a tough, a tall order for Joe. But I've got faith in it. He'll do it.
Maybe don't take him for a Chinese in the fight week for the rematch.
Oh, maybe not. But no, he was a really nice.
He was
bloke.
a great guy.
He was there obviously as well. He's a nice man. But you could tell when he was there, Zhang was there to win. He was focused. It's going to be a tough fight for Joe again, but I believe he can do it.
Johnny, just ahead of this Saturday, final message to the Bull Army. I'm sure it'll be packed with your fans in Wembley Arena again.
Up the Bull Army. We'll be there Saturday night, Wembley Arena. We've been there twice before. Let's have it large. The Chinese after. But
Lovely.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,